Hey friends, welcome to today's video. I am still in my pajamas because I haven't left my house in over a month. And yes, my fan blades are super dirty and they need to be cleaned, but you know what? I'm still kind of sick, so we're just gonna have to wait. So I said I would make this video when I was better, but I don't think I'm going to be getting fully recovered because I still have this cough that's not going away. But yeah, so how it worked was, so I've had COVID 3 times. The first time I think I had COVID before COVID was a thing because I was very, very, very ill by the time March 2020 rolled around. But at that time, COVID was still so new that people didn't really know what was what. And when I told coworkers and friends about it, they were like, oh, you probably had it. The second time I had it was February 2021. This time, the third time I had it, December 2021, or maybe like January 2022. We're not really sure when the exact time was. The positive COVID test was done on December 31st and January 3rd. So yeah, I guess it was still 2021. So I work in one of the largest, well, part-time, I work at one of the largest retailers in the city, one city block by one city block long. Thankfully, there's like COVID tents everywhere, so I did get tested twice a week just in case. I stopped working there once the holiday season wrapped up, and I just got tested for good measure, New Year's. Excuse me. So I started getting sick on December 21st. I just had like this small cough, small runny nose, small sore throat, and at that time I was still testing negative, so I figured that it was just like the cold, right? But then it got worse, not anything crazy, so I got tested and it still just kept coming out negative. And by the time I got tested on December 31st, it was still really minor, like really quite minor. But then I would say the first week of January, it started progressing. So I should mention that I did not get my test results until 8 days later and 20 days later, because I got 2 tests, 31st and the 3rd. The 31st test came on January 20th. The one that I took on the 3rd came like on the 8th or something like that. And it was just so strange. But I pretty much knew I had COVID without having those test results when I woke up one day and I blew my nose because I was just it was just disgusting. Like I was already having like yellow phlegm and yellow snot, but then I blew my nose and I had like a nosebleed and it was green, and then I woke up to brush my teeth and I coughed into the sink and it was like green phlegm. And at that point I was like, this is pneumonia, because I've had pneumonia before when I was like 27 or so, and the pneumonia last time wasn't as bad as this time. So with this knowledge, I kind of just did whatever, because what can you do, right? So I kind of let it just fester because I wasn't about to go get medical attention, because at this point, like, so many people have Omicron and they're not, you know, if I'm not dying, it doesn't make any sense for me to go to the doctor. They're just going to look at me like I have 3 heads and then tell me to go home. So I waited a few days, and, you know, the nose bleeding and the green phlegm just didn't get any better. And it got to the point where I couldn't take deep breaths because in my chest, like if I took a deep breath, like I would feel like a pressure that was preventing me from like breathing in to full lung capacity. And then after that, I started checking my O2 saturation, you know, and it was a little bit lower than usual, but no like emergency numbers. For anyone who doesn't know what an emergency number is, that would be like under 90% and under. If your oxygen saturation is 96 and up, you're still okay. So I think 2 days after that, I started like, whenever I breathed in, I had like a stabbing pain in like my chest, like right here. So I could take even shallower breaths, because first I would feel the pressure coming sooner than before, and then I would feel like the stabbing pain right here. So at that point I did have to go to the hospital, and I was just like, hello, I'm not dying, but we are in dire straits over here. I just need something, and then I'm gonna go because I don't want to be admitted and stay with all like the other dying people and get worse COVID, perhaps. So I got antibiotics, IV, and I left. It did kind of like fix the problem a little bit. Unfortunately, you know, antibiotics only lasted me a few days. And then it started getting worse from there. And then I went to, excuse me, I went to urgent care, and they were like, oh yes, more antibiotics. So they gave me more antibiotics for 3 days, and it did help a little bit. But then of course, once the antibiotics wore off, it was just back to normal. So yeah, I couldn't go to work. Basically, I just spent most of my days sleeping. I honestly have not left my house for a month. I've left to like grocery shop because I have to. I don't really have a choice in the matter. But other than that, I haven't really left. Still to this day, it has been over a month. I think at this point it's been a month and a week. No, it's been, yeah, a month and a week. Since I first got sick on December 21st. Today is January 30th. And I still do have a slight cough. I am much better than I used to be. My lips, if you can see, are still like disgustingly chapped, and they're still like very blue. But what can we do, right? COVID's getting all of us, and this is just like the world that we live in now. While I've been sitting here for a month and not doing anything, I have been doing a lot of reading. You know, I really want to do my YouTube, which I keep saying, but you know, like when you're like on your deathbed, there's like nothing that you really want to do. And I want to work on my second channel. I do want to get more into like spirituality as I used to before I dropped off of the wagon. I've been attempting to meditate again, and it's just been going horribly. But maybe like when I'm all the way better, I'll see. I'm not really going to be working next week either, as it is Chinese New Year, and I do work for an Asian company at the moment, part-time. So they're closed, so I get one more week of vacation before I have to go back to work and also find more work, or I don't know, we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, before I find full-time employment again, I do want to work on my channels, because I did say that's what I wanted to do in my last video, and I never did it because I got COVID and pneumonia. So anyway, this is the end of the video. It's pretty non-coherent, but you know, I just trying to think about the things. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!